decision apparently. I think you know what. Oh, well, they've got to do the due diligence. No, he doesn't. He doesn't. I think he sold it. Someone said he sold it. Yeah, trying to take it off. Someone saying that they're saying that Doctor owns 3 something. Doctor, yeah. What? Doctor owns $3,000. $3,000 of the club. That's nothing. It's like 0.00. No player. The players. What the club owes $3,000. No, he Doctor owns $3,000. Right, so 3% of the club. Not even. You know, he owns a couple of players $3,000. Oh, so he owes 5. Yeah, it's fine. Yeah. He owes 5. He doesn't owe the club. He owes 5. And someone's only had a gambling problem. No, he's probably like a quick. We all have a gambling problem. Bailey got off because his mum cookies maker. Bailey Bratton.
Into the final third of the season we go for a fixture that could certainly be described as season defining. Here in round 21, Plume Park, the venue, as the Central Coast Mariners play host to Mount Druitt Town Rangers. This fixture, the absolute definition of a 6-pointer. Pete Pryor with you this afternoon. Absolute pleasure to have your company, wherever it is in the world you may be watching from. The team news is in, and, well, fair to say, quite a bit of it to get through.
Hi, how are you?
The Mariners forced into a couple of changes following the departure from the club of Luca Pecora, who has moved as part of the mid-season madness, the transfer window, to Sydney Olympic. In comes Max Miller to replace him. Like-for-like change there. Max Miller, who has plied his trade in the under-20 sets up for most of the season. The rest of the lineup as follows, of course, in goal, number 40, Joel Wade. The 3 and captain, Michael Paragali. 5, Ben Mewett. 9, Ahmed El Helou. 10, Ayok Mo, I should say, my apologies. 11, Jai Rose. 21, Muginga Mporta. 22, Shumba Motakoyi. 23, Lawrence Taylor. 24, Kai Schumacher. And as we said, 35 this afternoon, Max Miller. The bench for the host this afternoon includes Ty McKibben, Gus Reid, Jesse Mantell, Jared Williams, Flynn Richards, of course, and Harrison Jablonski. Speaking of mid-season madness, Mount Druitt have been very busy this window indeed. 8 signings all told, and a few of them in the lineup today. They line up as follows. Number 1, goalkeeper and captain Dylan Miski. 3, one of those new signings, Danilo Monteiro, Portuguese centre-half. Number 5, Tep Tep. Number 6, Jared Massarola. Number 9, Coast local himself, Joey Gibbs. Number 10, Yuto Morita. Number 14, Abraham Majok. 15, Caleb Jackson-Brown. 18, last week's hero, Lachlan Vassiliou. 21, another former academy product from the coast, Will Rankin. And 27, Shaden Sunpow. The bench for the Travellers this afternoon includes Garang Awak, Rocco Pele, Stefan Giglio, Stephen Stanek-Floody, Yuta Komura, and another coasty native in Bilal Belcardi. Another one of those new signings in the mid-season window. The whistle blows and away we go. Here for round 21 at Plume Park. The Mariners getting us underway. Kicking from right to left on your screens. Immediately, Mo to sweep one out to the far touchline. Miller's on a foray forward immediately. Paragali to link up with Max Miller. Cute touch to link up with Mo as well. Swung in towards El Helou. Cross is blocked initially. Paragali just hauling down his opponent. Morita. Morita, another new signing in the window. No shortage of them for Andrew Montgomery's side as they throw just about everything they can in their bid to survive in the state's top flight. Of course, they lost their Brazilian superstar Pedrinho earlier in the season as well. Word around the traps is that he has moved back to Indonesia. Looking to spend the money wisely. Bit shy. The jock, one of those new signings, pinching the pocket of Mewett there. Now Sampao. First time, stands it up towards Majok. It's over both he and Mewett, and Jai Rose will retrieve. Jai Rose, who put in an absolutely sparkling performance in the Mariners' 3-1 victory last weekend. It's retrieved by Masarola, though, who has a beating of Mewett. Crossed in towards Morita, and his header fairly tamely straight into the arms of Joel Wade. First shots for his Mount Druitt career for Yuto Morita. Japanese number 10. Sent forward by Wade. Rising was Masarola. Mewett will cut it out before it reaches Joey Gibbs. Miller. Elhelu. Good first touch and good strength as well to link up with Taylor. Now it's Rose, and overlapping here is Mewett. It's a well-timed challenge from Will Rankin, but Jai Rose will pick it back up. Sizing up the cross and swinging in the cross towards Polter. All too deep in the end. As we said, Jai Rose, fantastic performance last week. Man of the match in that 3-1 victory. It was the Mariners' first win at home of the season. They haven't had much of a chance to play at their home venue, of course. Very strong run of games here at Plume Park. In the back end of the season, just one away fixture remaining. Jai Rose notching up a goal and an assist. Fantastic goal it was as well. Mount Druitt, of course, themselves coming into this one off the back of a victory, which was also, in fact, their first home victory of the season as well. These two sides really matching each other stride for stride in terms of recent form anyway. Cross swung in towards Morita again. Wants to attack it. Schumacher there first. Schumacher nodding it back in the direction of Joel Wade, but Wade just unable to keep it in the field of play. Somehow across to take the corner. As we said, this fixture, the very definition of a six-pointer here. The Mariners currently anchored to the foot of the table, just 2 points behind their opponents today. But it is Mount Druitt swinging in the corner, and it is Joel Wade rising to claim and plucks it out of the afternoon sky with relative ease. Taylor now holding it up and awaiting support, and the Mariners bench are none too happy with the challenge there on Lawrence Taylor. Just a throw in at the end of it.
Did a good job out there last week. Sydney United didn't know what we were thinking, and we smacked them.
From our vantage point, it certainly just looked like a good ball and all challenge. Montero nodding it, trying to nod it into touch, but the Mariners able to retain it through Miller, who will also win the throw. We said Danilo Montero, another new signing. How many times can we say that this afternoon, I wonder?
Yeah.
Portuguese centre-half, very well travelled as well. Across from the Portuguese third tier. Who was it? Villavidense FC. Now makes his return to Australia. He was previously at Geelong as well. The Victorian state setup. Speaking of transfer news as well, we can bring you some about the Mariners, we did mention, of course, Luca Pecora's departure. He adds to the list. Already included Prayag Tapper and Rocco Smith as well. During the week, Mariners lost one of their central midfielders in Lucas Shikluna. Interest in him from some other A-League sides, including the Wanderers and Sydney FC, I believe. That's a good-looking ball into the half space for Ahmed El Helou, who tries to juggle his way around his defender, who handles the ball, and Ahmed El Helou has won the free kick in a very intriguing sort of position indeed. Another one who was fantastic last week against Sydney United. His former club, of course, Ahmed El Helou, notching up a brace. Opened the scoring and rounded out the scoring as well after Flynn Richards won his side a penalty. Gyros to perhaps look to swing this one in. Does stand it up towards the back post. Ahmed El Helou! It's in! It's Ahmed El Helou who opens the scoring once again at Blue. And this young man can simply not stop scoring at the moment. 3 in his last 2 games for Ahmed El Helou. Goal number 4 of the season. And how crucial will that one prove to be when it all comes out in the wash? It's Gyros and Ahmed El Helou linking up once again. And the Mariners hit the front inside 8 minutes. Pota blocking the clearance from Tep, and Pota bursting into the area now. Has support in the form of Rose and uses him. Rose looking to weave around Massarola and just about does, and might have to beat him a second time as well, and does. Top of the box is El Helou. Able to control it. The pass just had a little bit too much on it in the end. So a fairly subdued opening 5 or so minutes to the hosts. They've certainly burst into life here. Hewitt nodding it forwards. Morita, good strength to hold off Motokoyi. Pass is comfortably cut out by Miller. On his first grade debut today, of course, starting debut. And his hands full here as well. Jackson Brown. Juggling there was Mo. Bundled off it centrally, but Jackson Brown emerging with it. And now it's Majok. First time cross, straight into the arms of Joel Wade. Abraham Majok, another one with coasty connections, of course. Had a couple of games in the Mariners A-League setup in years gone by. Spent some time at the Wanderers as well, and some time overseas. Here's Danilo. Returns to Australia and returns, of course, to Mount Druitt Town Rangers as well, where he was before he joined the Wanderers. His side is trailing here. Good looking overlapping run from Mo. His cross is blocked and the Mariners will have another corner. Reduction across the New South Wales NPL men's competition this afternoon. This one of 4 fixtures. We'll look to bring you some updates on after this Mariners set piece. Gyros, of course, delivered the previous set piece to the head of Ahmed El Helou, which proved oh so fortuitous for the hosts. Could they possibly link up again? Wouldn't put it past them. It's a variation on the corner though, and this is swung in and tailing away. Pops out to Taylor on the edge of the area. Now Paragali, who stayed forward. Skips around Vasiliou has his legs taken away as well. Referee says nothing doing. Now Paragali's going to have to recover quickly and does. Joined by his centre-half counterpart there in Motakoyi.
1-0 off.
They are able to take it off the toe of Majok. As we said, 3 other fixtures elsewhere across the league this afternoon. At the Palace, Marconi hosting Sydney FC. At Adenza Park, Sydney United 58 hosting Spirit FC. It's Rockdale playing host to Sutherland, of course. All 3 of those fixtures currently deadlocked.
Spirit is...
The Mariners currently ahead through Ahmed El Helou. Druitt couldn't quite reel it in initially. Does so on the second attempt. There's wide support there. Cross is blocked off though. Now Druitt forced to go back and recycle through Montero. Long range strike from Montero is fairly audacious and straight into the body of Schumacher. Back and recycling there through Tep and now Rankin. Rankin inverting now. Blocked off by Schumacher. That's a good challenge centrally. El Helou to link up with Poulter. May have been offside in any case. As we said, victory for the Mariners today would see them leapfrog their opponents and take themselves off the foot of the table. That's a tale of 2 benches on the far touchline there. Now Druitt bench up in arms over that challenge. The Mariners bench celebrating it. Again, just a ball and all challenge. Driven forward by Niski, chested down by Majok. Only as far as Rose, and now Ben Mewett. Just let it run away from him a little bit there and allowed Majok to steal in. Now back with Tep. Niski will send it long. Miller will clean up. Flicked forward this time by Ways. Easily cut out by Tep. Vasiliou's touch just eluding him at the crucial moment there. He was the hero, of course, last week, as we said, in that 1-0 victory over Manly. Lachlan Vasiliou.
Everyone knows Docker's gone. Close to sandwich already. And
we said, these 2 sides really matching each other so closely, mirroring each other's form of late, really, to the point where both sides earned what has been admittedly a rare victory last weekend, but also their first home victories of the season. Sampao sends it forwards. The wide area. Vasiliou something to chase. One-on-one defending with Max Miller. He's got some more defending to do here against Vasiliou. Shifts back onto his right. Cross from deep is comfortably blocked off, and Lawrence Taylor will emerge with it. Left it short, though, of Aokmo. Sampao able to step in. It's a little bit scrappy in the middle of the park at the moment. Lawrence Taylor will just link up with Paragali, who will look to maybe calm it down. Joey Gibbs coming forward to affect the press. And then it's an interesting long ball from Paragali. It's off the back of Tep, really. Poser couldn't quite control it. And again, it's Ahmed El Helou stealing in. Felt he was unfairly held back there. It's interesting sort of looking defending from Montero, but effective enough. Tep being harassed and harried all the way by Importa. forced back to Niski. We'll send it long the first time, and it's an interesting looking touch from Morita. Into the area he goes. Najok felt he was unfairly denied by Paragali, and again, the referee completely unmoved, unfazed. Mariners will have to be alert to the danger possessed by Yuto Morita. Japanese number 10 showed some dangerous signs early in this one. Ahmed El Helou battling with Montero for that and just taking away the legs of the Portuguese centre half. I suppose that can be both a blessing and a curse, really, for Mount Druitt, the ability to be able to bring in as many mid-season signings as they have, but it comes with a great deal of risk, perhaps evidenced by that kind of ball out there. Can take time for new signings to get up to speed and perhaps do damage to the cohesion, but they need to try anything they can to stay up. At the moment, it's the Mariners in the ascendancy, and it's Dry Rose trying his luck from the same sort of range where he scored last week. Pops out to Mewitz. Just looking to link up with Porter, who will retrieve it eventually. Now Mewitz. Trying to slide one in behind there for Rose. Tep was alert to it. Niski with a sort of hurried clearance, really. Motokoyi will get there first. We'll find Joey Gibbs in a roundabout sort of way. Caleb Jackson-Brown. Advantage played, and it might be a good one here for Massarola. Too far ahead of Morita, though. We spoke about the cohesion, those two just not quite on the same wavelength just yet. Long ball this time from Wade, and Niski's had to come a long way to get there ahead of El Helou. Did just about. We'll have the throw. Well, it's not just departures for the Central Coast Mariners in this transfer window, but they've been able to bring in a couple of players of their own, one of whom can bring you some news on. Noah Peacock has recently inked a deal for the under-20 set up there, coming across from the Wanderers. Last season's under-20s Golden Boot winner, of course, while he was at Spirit FC. Very highly rated young talent, such a presence up top as well. Many keen eyes keeping tabs on his development. Many discussions around who the final touch was off. Ben Mewitz winning out and eventually marched back to the spots where the ball left the field of play. Taylor. Interesting one here for Michael Paragali to deal with. If he does, sends it upfield to his opposite number 3 and Montero, and driven forward by Massarola. Ayok Mo going through the back of his opponent there. Vasiliu was who's won the free kick for Mount Druitt, and can use the break in play to bring you a bit of an update from elsewhere as well. If you don't want spoilers, do block your ears now, but Spirit FC have just hit the front against Sydney United. Meanwhile, it's Mount Druitt
I think
driven in by Sampao.
PPR will be focused on maybe being good and
All the way over the byline in the end.
in the cup good. It's so hard to start a good
Just about through the opening half of the first half here at Plume Park, if you are just joining us. Here in round 21, Pete Pryor with you. Absolute pleasure to have your company. As always, of course, Ahmed El Helou proving the difference. Jai Rose and El Helou once again linking up as they did last week to break the deadlock after about 8 minutes. Sent forward towards Marjok. Motakoi there first. Druitt will stretch to keep it in play. Rose. Just prod it into touch on this near touch line. Mewitz. Porter, little layoff there for Rose, who skips inside tap initially and then is bundled off it. Legally so in the eyes of the referee. Little back heel there from Morita, who continues to give chase, and Joel Wade's having none of it. Sent back with interest. Lewis and Marjok tussling, tangle of legs there as well, and sliding in eventually to great effect is Jai Rose. Well, perhaps not necessarily to great effect, much to the chagrin of those in yellow and navy in the crowd here, I can tell you. Referee unimpressed with the challenge from Jai Rose and awarding the free kick. Rankin gets us back underway. Tap. Now, Montero. All the way across the back it goes with Sampao. Vasiliou juggling. Able to keep it in the field of play just about, but he's being harassed and harried all the way by Max Miller there. Pops out eventually for Joey Gibbs. Vasiliou. Again, it's he and Miller. And again, it's Miller who wins out. And this time, it's Mpota who has his legs taken away. The Mariners will have the free kick just about on halfway. Certainly hasn't been the cleanest performance. Hasn't exactly been vintage from either side. It's been very scrappy in parts. But it's been open enough. Both sides, certainly, I'm sure, realising what's at stake today. For the Mariners, a chance to lift themselves off the foot of the table. For Mount Druitt, the opportunity to perhaps go 5 points clear, and in fact, leapfrog the Wanderers, taking themselves out of the relegation zone entirely. They are behind on the scoreboard as it stands. Montero. Well, it's Mpota who's there ahead of the Portuguese, and Mpota, has he kept that in play? Well, just about he has. Excellent work from Maginga Mpota to keep that in the field of play and then win the corner for the Mariners as well. Lucas Vallela, I can tell you, is frantically shouting instructions to his charges. Lawrence Taylor getting and talking to as is Schumacher, as this is swung out towards Schumacher. Rising was Montero with a towering sort of header clear. Taylor and Rankin scrapping to try and retrieve it, and Rankin gets there first. Now it's Jackson Brown on the edge of the area. Jackson Brown will save initially from Wade, and then Joey Gibbs draws the linesman's flag on the near touch line, found offside. Well, a real thunderous sort of effort, that one from Caleb Jackson Brown. In the blink of an eye, Mount Druitt turning defence into attack. And a good save from Joel Wade to keep his side in the lead. Made several good saves last weekend too, did the Mariners gloveman Joel Wade. One in particular absolutely crucial just before the Mariners scored their second goal. Rising there was Tep. Max Miller will play it forwards. It's Mo. Still going as Mo. Legs taken away on the edge of the area. Referee was in a very good position to spot it. The Mariners will have another free kick. A dangerous area. That's a little closer in than they might like. It is very short sort of distance to get the up and down and the whip and the dip. Required to get it both over the wall and under the crossbar. But if anyone can do it, in the sort of form he's in at the moment, it's this man, Jai Rose. Linked up with Ahmed El Helou to open the scoring earlier in the half. This one certainly a more favourable sort of angle to perhaps throw the direct route. Now, Caleb Jackson-Brown is in as the draft excluder at the foot of the wall. Willie Rose straight into the wall in the end. Didn't quite get the connection that he would have hoped. And now Morita advancing over halfway. Ben Mewett was marshalling him closely. Delayed him just enough as well as Ayuk Mo able to steal it back for the Mariners. Now it's Rose. Been heavily involved so far in this one. And Porter. It's bounced up a little awkwardly for the Mariners striker. Morita will have it back for Mount Druitt. All the passing lanes quickly blocked off.
Thank you very much. Tep.
Thought about going to this near touch line with Rankin, but instead just opts to go back to his centre half partner in Monteiro. Joey Gibbs, who drops deep here to get some touches on the ball, and now it will be swung out towards Will Rankin. I just look to go at Jai Rose, instead stretching the pitch here with Madrock. Is blocked off by Taylor to great effect. El Helou able to prod it forward away from Masarola, but recovered by Tep. Interesting sort of looking ball out there initially from Niski, but it was a comfortable enough one for Caleb Jackson-Brown. Masarola unable with, or unhappy I should say, with what seemed to be indicating was a lack of movement from his teammates, and Ayuk Mo getting it back only momentarily for the Mariners. Zero. Flat ball forward for Caleb Jackson-Brown, and now Morita again looking to have the beating of Paragali. Paragali was touch tight all the way. Joey Gibbs carrying forward to try and put the pressure on Joel Wade there. Joel Wade affecting the clearance, and Jai Rose juggling, and then is hauled down on halfway, and then Ayuk Mo also hauled down just in front of halfway. Stayed down here as well. Concerning signs for the Mariners as Ayuk Mo has had a couple of injury troubles so far this season. Ayuk Mo. He was eventually helped back to his feet by his captain, Michael Paragali. Jai Rose to again hoist this one towards the edge of the area. It's a difficult one to control there for El Helou, and immediately Mount Druitt looking to get forward, and Morita has his pocket pinched by Taylor. Botakoye with a good ball to Mewett. Into the channel it goes for Mpota. Madrock bundles Mpota off it. Referee seemingly happy with the physical nature of the contest. Mewett assessing all the options, one of whom is El Helu. Will Rankin this time was touched tight to Ahmed El Helu. Mariners will have another throw. Mewett. Marjock not shirking his defensive duties, and he's won it off the toe of Mewett. His pass was a cute little nutmeg initially, but only picks out Kai Schumacher for the Mariners. Motokoyi now. Paragali. You can see the intention of the raking crossfield ball there from Michael Paragali, but it was very quickly shut down by Vasiliou. Sampao. Low will prod it forwards as far as Dylan Niski, who will send it back up to halfway. Motokoyi. Will Rankin rising. Had body position there ahead of Impulsa, able to nod it back to Dylan Niski. It's Rankin again now. Tap. Niski this time sending it long. Motokoyi. Taylor. Still Taylor. This time Lawrence Taylor and Ayuk Mo just on different wavelengths. One zigging, the other not zagging. Interesting looking ball into the channel here for Ahmed El Helu, who bears down on goal. El Helu, good save initially from Niski. El Helu with the layoff now to Ayuk Mo, who at the last available opportunity has it taken off his toe. Ahmed El Helu did ever so well. You could see him looking across the line there to time his run to perfection. It was Will Rankin who'd played him onside. Rankin so much deeper than his other defenders. El Helu not quite able to apply the finish on that occasion. A good save from Niski, but the Mariners on the march. Sailing forward once more with Mewett. Cross is blocked initially by his opposite number 5 in Tep, and then Niski able to collect. Vasiliou. Chances in this one so far at a bit of a premium.
Except this time we're going to play him as a fullback.
A little cagey in part somewhat, as one perhaps might expect. Two teams, as we said, we've spoken about what's at stake for both of these sides.
Usain Bolt, what a fight.
For the Mariners, if they do stroll on to victory today, it would be a massive one in more ways than one. The Mariners, in fact, haven't beaten Mount Druitt at Plume Park since August 2017. Many moons ago, Brenton Fox and Duncan Stewart on the score sheet for the Mariners on that occasion. Here's Max Miller stepping in. Bounces off Massarola and pops out favourably for Vasiliou. The best of passes, though, from Lachlan Vasiliou. Straight at the feet of the Mariners striker, Ahmed El Helu. Now Rose has Mewett overlapping. And will use Mewett. Now it's Dry Rose's turn to overlap. Instead, Mewett, little wall passes and Pota. Mewett. Good looking challenge initially from Caleb Jackson Brown. And, well, that's an agricultural sort of challenge in the centre of the park there. Now Max Miller has had his pocket pinched. Vasiliou. Joey Gibbs now. Marjock. Didn't quite bring it under his spell though, and Michael Paragali able to effect the clearance. said the Mariners haven't beaten Mount Druitt at Plume Park since 2017. Of course, they've only played each other twice since in that time frame. 2018 season and 2023 as well, of course. 2018 in the old NPL 2 before Mount Druitt were promoted to the state's top flight. And then in 2023 when the Mariners rejoined the state's top flight. They've had some joy at Popondetta Park though, the Mariners, of course. 2-1 winners down there last season. There's a good looking layoff here for Jai Rose. Last ditch challenge there from Will Rankin. It's been good today. Timed the challenge as well. Caleb Jackson-Brown timing one well against Lawrence Taylor there. Here is Rankin. One-on-one with Taylor, and Taylor, little tug of the jersey. Pretty easy free kick for the referee to give. 1-1 last time these two sides met, of course, down at Popondetta earlier in the season. Very different looking lineup, particularly for Mount Druitt today, to what they were able to put out on that occasion. Here is one of those. Montero striding forward. Now Mudrock. And harassed and harried this time by Miller. Layoff for Jackson-Brown. It's chaos. And then Mudrock with the air swing at the end of it. Elhelu. Porter operating in the wide area. One-on-one with Sampao. A couple of step-overs. And Porter. I thought initially it may have gone over the byline. Instead it's gone it's over this near touchline for a throw. It wasn't Porter, of course, who opened the scoring last time these sides met down at Popondetta. Mount Druitt able to earn a share of the spoils on that occasion through their Brazilian star in Pedrinho, no longer with the club, of course. Druitt may have felt that they could have, in fact, had all 3 points on the occasion. Of course, as we mentioned, Yinka Sammola missing a penalty, or his penalty, in fact, was saved by the Mariners gloveman on that day, Adam Pavlesic. Yinka Sammola not involved today. And Porter's going to require some treatment here for the Mariners. Michael Paragali coming forward to consult with the referee as well. We did mention the referee seemingly happy with the physical nature of the contest so far. We creep towards the final 5 minutes of the first stanza here at Plume. Ahmed Elhelu, the difference so far in this one, as he was at the interval last week as well against Sydney United 58. Take the opportunity to bring you some updates from elsewhere, as we said, of course. And it's the Palace at Marconi still 0-0 with Sydney FC. At Sydney United Sports Centre, Spirit FC still holding that 1-goal lead there. And at Rockdale, currently one apiece between Rockdale and Sutherland. It was Sutherland who opened the scoring through McDonald. Pegged back about 10 or so minutes later by Ali Ogla. Porter's back up and about to his feet now, just awaiting confirmation as to when he can rejoin the field of play. The Mariners temporarily down to 10. Tep trying to weave his way out of the heart of defence, and does so just about in the end. Joey Gibbs, again, it's a long raking sort of ball, and Joel Wade has had to come a long way to get to it ahead of Morita. He's able to nod it forward. Madrock will retrieve it, and Max Miller, not for the first time today, with a good piece of defending. Starting debut, as we said earlier in the piece, for the Mariners right back. Max Miller following the departure from the club of Luca Pecora. Mariners did announce some further departures in their A-League setup as well, particularly a couple of academy graduates, the likes of Alo Kuol and Sasha Kazevsky, certainly fan favourites as well.
I reckon we should give all the new very close. Yes, because give all the new owner next time.
Double dose of chaos with the A-League window opening and the NPL window not far from slamming shut. It never really just closes, does it? It always has to slam shut. Here's Jai Rose. It was a mid-season signing himself last year from Sydney FC.
He's from Druitt.
Yeah, and he's got
Wade. Just figured out to Druitt. It was Will Rankin rising, and then Druitt, a little tug of the jersey on the way through. As we slowly tick towards the conclusion of the half. Now Druitt looking to square the ledger as this is swung in over the head of Marjock. Mo will retrieve it for the Mariners. Joined for company quite quickly by Marjock. Miller, Taylor. Ball was just a little too far ahead of Aok Mo. Jackson Brown. Sampao. Marjock. Absolute definition of youth v experience there. The tussle between Abraham Marjock and Max Miller, the young fullback. In all fairness, Marjock still only 26 years of age. He is so well travelled, as we said. A-League experience with the Wanderers and the Mariners. Experience in Greece as well. Here's Taylor. Poster, I fancy, was probably offside there. He was indeed. And, well, perhaps a little bit of gamesmanship from Muginga and Potter. Happy to let that one roll over the byline. We enter the final minute of regulation time for the first stanza here at Bloom Park. Looks like we might have 2 minutes of time added on. Confirmation as to when the board goes up. Montero pushing it forward towards Gibbs. Caleb Jackson Brown. First touch to take him away from Jai Rose, and now it's Vasiliou. Jackson Brown into the area. Blocked off by Jai Rose. He was tracked all the way. At the expense of a corner, though. Perhaps a final chance of the half here for the Rangers. Sampao across to deliver this one. It will be the in-swing corner from the left foot. Sampao, near post delivery. Rising was Marjock. It's not clear initially. The board does go up for 2 minutes. Mariners able to deal with the set piece once again. Now Montero being harassed and harried all the way. Forced back to Niski. It's Ahmed El Helou who's giving the Mount Druitt defence no end of headaches this afternoon. Danilo again. Two new signings just on different wavelengths again. A crossfield pass once again intended for Marjock, but a long way behind Abraham Marjock.
Again, QPR were in already.
Mariners will be happy to take the opportunity to eat up a few more seconds before the interval. Flicked on to great effect to find Aok Mo. Holds up and finds support in the form of Jai Rose. Wants to get at the defence and will strike. Dylan Niski had a long time to see it. Did take a little bit of a bobble on the way through, but safe hands there from Dylan Niski. Sent forward once again towards Morita. Nodded forward by the Mariners captain Paragali. Sampao. There's the free kick. Coulter did have a couple of hands on Sampao there. Another chance as we tick towards the final 20 or so seconds of added time here for Mount Druitt to just send it long towards the edge of the area. And Poulter will get there ahead of Joey Gibbs and then we'll send it. That's not gone into Rosette, that's gone to Arimba. And that will be the final action of the half here. Mariners might need to send a couple of ball boys in a taxi to retrieve that one from Shumba Mosakoi. It is the Mariners who hold the advantage at the interval. Again, a familiar combination of gyros linking up with Ahmed El Helu to open the scoring. Mariners lead Mount Druitt by a goal to nil here at Pluim Park. We're off for a short break. Don't go anywhere. Join us for the second half in about 15 minutes' time. very warm welcome indeed back to Plume Park as we round out round 21 of the New South Wales NPL men's competition. It is the Mariners who hold the ascendancy at the break, courtesy of their main man up top, Ahmed El Helou. 45 minutes of action to come. Mount Druitt it will be to resume hostilities here at Plume. Kicking from right to left on your screens for the second half. It looks like we have had a change at the interval. So Mount Druitt will try and bring you confirmation on that. Or those changes, I should say, in just a moment. There's a couple of them. It looks like Lachlan Vasiliou has taken his leave for the afternoon. As well as fancy Caleb Jackson-Brown. Well, Belcardi into the fray at the interval, as is Yuta Kamora. Two more new signings. Here is Belcardi. As we said, native to the Central Coast himself. Apply his trades for the Mariners for a number of years. The academy set up, most recently at Manly United. Somehow. Kamura. Max Miller there first. Joey Gibbs, Sampao, Kamura just running out of real estate on this near touchline. Dylan Niski will send it back over halfway. Miller there first. Danilo Montiero. Pass is cut out by Jai Rose. Rose is clear with it as well. Little clip delivery looking to link up with Polter. Polter was looking to make a darting run inside. Jai Rose was hoping to clip it into the half space. Rita. Marjock overlapping. It's Rankin. His cross is blocked off and into touch on that far touchline. No changes for the Mariners at the interval. Options on the bench for Lucas Valela's side, including Ty McKibben, Angus Reid, Jesse Mantell, Harrison Jablonski, and of course Flynn Richards. Schumacher just looking to hook it over his shoulder. Fairly comfortably cut out, and now Gibbs, Belcardi. Back with Tep. Sampao. Assessing the options in front. Little back heel there to link up with Morita. Belcardi. Morita it is! Morita will hit the post, and a very good save to divert it onto the post from Joel Wade. The crowd collectively held its breath, expecting to see the net bulge. Yuto Morita denied by the outstretched toe of Joel Wade. And then the width of the post as well.
An inch less on that, and then going in.
First chance of the half. Going the way of Mount Druitt. Jai Rose. ran out of room on the near touch line, and now it's Sam Powell from Mount Druitt's first time delivery. Joel Wade confident that he had his angles correct and happy to watch that sail over the crossbar. Yuta Kimura and Yuto Morita, the two Japanese, nearly linking up to great effect. Both mid-season signings, of course. Druitt unhappy with the length of time it took Joel Wade to get back underway, and eventually he does. And now Dry Rose in a handy pocket of space here. Dry Rose! Oh, it's fantastic! It's sublime! Just as it was last week, it's Dry Rose again! Hit like a tracer bullet into the top corner. It was always tailing away from Dylan Niski, who was just about at full stretch in his attempts to reach it. And just as he did last week, Dry Rose has doubled the coast advantage just after half-time. A goal and an assist last week, matched by a goal and an assist this week. And that goal I fancy perhaps even sweeter than the one that he struck last week. He's going from strength to strength. Schumacher sizing up the strike. Schumacher. It's a fairly comfortable distance wide in the end for Dylan Niski. Day of action here at Plume Park as well, of course, with their juniors in action. Over on the backfield, it's Kimura, now for Mount Druitt. Morita, Joey Gibbs. Just too far ahead of Will Rankin, though. As we said, the Mariners League One youth in action against Sydney United. Also, the Mariners Women's Academy in action in the League One Women's competition at 5 p.m. Playing host to Bankstown City as they continue their quest for finals football. Here's Belcardi trying to link up with Gibbs. Belcardi will pick it back up. It's well read and well cut out by Paragali. Mo has the beating of Madrock. That's excellent footwork from Ayuk Mo. Now it's Rose. Overlapping here is Miller. Green grass in front of him in which to advance into. Delivery initially blocked, and then Rose, fairly audacious half volley. It's an awkward sort of height for him, but he made the most of it. Not hitting the target would have been spectacular. We've seen he's capable of the spectacular, of course, Dry Rose. Scoring from distance last week against Sydney United. Adding another one this afternoon. Simply flew into the top corner. It's Marjock on the march forward. It's Gibbs! Little snapshot there from Joey Gibbs. Straight at Joel Wade in the end. Joey Gibbs, of course, seasoned striker, the Iceman, as he was known at Blacktown. Recently celebrated his 33rd birthday, Gosford born. Never actually played for the Mariners, but is still very highly regarded on the Central Coast. Polter and hello. Near post delivery is blocked off by Tep, and behind it will go for a Mariners corner. variation on the corner. Miller now Rose with the angle. It's a bit of a loose touch there from Dry Rose, and that's a clattering sort of challenge from Lawrence Taylor, and yes, he will in fact be the first one in the referee's notebook. Jackson Mackey, of course, this afternoon, the man in the middle. Lawrence Taylor just mistiming the challenge. And former Mariner Will Rankin. Danilo Montero, it will be to send it forward for Mount Druitt. Tep-Tep's had his pocket pinched by Impolta, and Niski's come a long way to reclaim it, and reclaim it he does, just calming down the situation. And Druitt trying to get it forward with almost too much urgency, really. Joey Gibbs continuing to give chase. The Mariners will play their way across the back now with Mewett. Flicks forward towards Mo. Stolen away by Massarola. Mo try and win it back. Rankin flying in. Mewett emerging with it, and it's all getting a little bit testy out there, a little bit fiery, a little bit spicy in parts. Mount Druitt will have the free kick, and they are absolutely incensed about the challenge as well. It led to the free kick. They're still going to play it down as well. A little bit of handbags at the end of it as well. Jackson Mackey across to consult with his assistant on the far touchline. Abraham Mudjock and Michael Paragali were having some fairly heated words. And there has been a red card issued as well at the end of it. Ben Mewett has been given his marching orders. And suddenly, after the Coast were seemingly cruising, their task has just become that much more difficult. A few complaints from Ben Mewett after he was given his marching orders there as well. Lucas Valela will just about certainly look to go to his bench. We've got some more defending to do here now, the Coast, as it's swung in very deep and brushes off the head. With Paragali there and behind for another set piece for Mount Druitt. Ben Mewett, who had been ever present for the Mariners up until this point, started every game. That's actually his first card of the season, yellow or red, as the corner is fisted clear by Wade. Belcardi dropping in to retrieve. Rankin juggled into the area by Joey Gibbs and driven in towards Tete. Header flashing wide. It was a little bit behind the centre half. Difficult to sort of contort his body and crane his neck muscles back enough, and now Joel Wade will pick himself up a yellow ticket for time wasting as well. You can perhaps hear what the crowd at Plume Park thinks about that. Moved forward by Danilo. Joey Gibbs. Sampao. Kamura twisting and turning. Max Miller defending well, acquitting himself very well indeed on his first grade starting debut. And we will see those changes now for the Mariners. Well, offensively, we're going to see a change from Mount Druitt first, maybe a double change. In fact, Sampao and Rankin withdrawn. The two fullbacks who've got through a mountain of work this afternoon. Static Floody into the action. Straight swap there for Sampao. Here's Marjot. Rocco Pele, the other one introduced. Another one who's made the switch from Manly to Mount Druitt in the mid-season madness. As was Belcardi, who was striding forward there. Just ran away from him. Mariners unhappy with the challenge on Mpota. Referee Jackson Mackey says, just get on with it. Kimura still going here into the area. Kimura slaloming and then sliding in to great effect there was Michael Paragali with the captain's challenge. Three changes ready for the Mariners. They won't make them yet. Kimura to swing the corner in. The crowded massive bodies right inside that 6-yard box. Danilo trying to retrieve. Joey Gibbs will hook it over his shoulder. Danilo. Mariners able to clear their lines only as far as the 6 there in Massarola. Tep, it stayed forwards. Helped on by Pele to Kimura, who will strike. Locked off again by Max Miller. Static Floody. Forced just to go back and recycle here, Mount Druitt. Seemingly buoyed by the earlier red card to Mount Druitt. This is swung in by Static Floody. Miscommunication there initially between Schumacher and Wade. The Mariners survived just about. Still, Lucas Valela has to wait to make those changes. Rising was Mpota, as was Tep, as was Mo. Nods it forward. Danilo first on hand, first on scene to clear up. And the Mariners will use the opportunity now to make those changes. Meanwhile, in back play, I can tell you that there's a player down for the Mariners there in Muginga and Mpota. Tep, rather forcibly somewhat trying to assist him in getting back to his feet. Before being told in no uncertain terms by the referee to move away from the scene. So, Muginga and Mpota still down, receiving some treatment. I wonder if that may force a bit of a change in the substitutions, or intended substitutions for Lucas Valela's side. Not sure if he was one of those who was going to be withdrawn. No one seems to be all too keen to make their way to the bench in any great deal of hurry anyway. I can tell you, Ayuk Mo is one of those being withdrawn. Harrison Jablonski on in his stead. Jesse Mantell also enters the field of play. Angus Reid, the third introduction. Looks like Lawrence Taylor has been withdrawn, so I suspect that Angus Reid will operate as a really traditional sort of number 6. The screening in front of the back four for the Mariners. And Helu taking away the legs of Massarola there. Kimura and Stanek Floody. The two number 17s tussling there in Mantell and Stanek Floody. Final touch off Jesse Mantell and behind for another Mount Druitt corner. Just about everyone back defending this one for the Mariners. As again, it's swung in near post this time. Headed clear off the near post by Miller. It's going to come straight back at them though. Kimura 1v1 with Miller. And again, a good piece of defending from young Max Miller. Short corner for Belcardi. Now Yuta Kimura might strike, does strike. Does draw a very good save out of Joel Wade, who I fancy may have seen it a little late there. It did come through a couple of sets of legs. Joel Wade smartly down to his near post. Turning it behind for another corner. Swung in again near post and again repelled initially by the head of Miller. Wade has come to claim and is bundled off it. The ball does find the back of the net from the boot of Danilo Montero, but whistle had gone. Joel Wade brought down. Joel Wade sends it long. Just playing kick to kick there with Dylan Niski seemingly. Stanek Floody chipped in centrally. Motokoyi there first, but only able to find Yuta Kimura of Mount Druitt. Stanek Floody. All the way back they go through Danilo Montero. Raking crossfield ball intended for Majok. Jablonski first to it. Massarola will retrieve. Belcardi. Swung in. Well, it was intended for Gibbs. It's not a clear, only as far as Belcardi again. Majok just delays and delays, which initially allows Dry Rose to step in and then further allows Jablonski to step in and turn it into touch. All hands on deck here for the Mariners as this is swung in again. Yuto Morita goes down. Jackson Mackey completely unmoved. Tap, tap. Belcardi now. Stanek Floody is on this near touch line. He will receive it. Mount Druitt more patient in possession, and of course, as soon as I say that, it's an excellent breaking crossfield ball from Danilo initially. Mariners haven't really dealt with it though. It's a bit chaotic on the edge of the area. The Mariners survive once more, able to send it clear only as far as halfway. And Helu, the lone figure up top now for the Mariners. Stanek Floody swings in across towards the 6-yard box. Didn't quite wrap his boot around it as he may have hoped. Strong shout of keeper from Joel Wade, and as he comes to pluck it out of the sky. Into the final 20 or so minutes here of regulation time at Pluim Park. It's going to be a backs to the wall. Final 20 minutes for the hosts. Now Druitt chasing the game. The Mariners down to 10. Yuta Kimura on the ball now. Interesting looking ball into the half space. Joel Wade's come a long way off his line. Shoulder to shoulder contact with Yuto Morita. Howls for a penalty from the Mount Druitt contingent. Again, Jackson Mackey says nothing doing. Living a little bit dangerously there. Was Joel Wade. Here's Max Miller for the Mariners. Reed just shifts it back to Paragully. He'll clip it forwards towards Mantell, giving him something to chase. It's a long way ahead of Jesse Mantell, though. Tep carries it forward. Now, Lajok. Good first touch as well to link up with Pele. Nasarola thought about the shot, instead plays it into the half space for Joey Gibbs, who had Angus Reid absolutely touch tight. Good challenge, well timed from Angus Reid to halt the potential progress of Joey Gibbs. Have another corner though. Use the opportunity to bring you some updates from elsewhere in the league. As we said, this one of 4 games this afternoon in the state's top flight. Static Floody will take the corner, so may just hold off on that news from elsewhere. It's swung in towards the near post. Again, it's Wade rising to claim. At the Palace, between Marconi and Sydney FC, it is Marconi. Missed a penalty, but then Damien Sikenis has put them ahead on the hour mark. Good ball from Mantell to link up with Reed, who will sweep it out towards the far touch line. It's a long way ahead of Jai Rose, who's got a job and a half to try and keep it in play. Couldn't quite do so. Jai Rose has just found his way into referee Jackson Mackey's notebook as well for perceived time wasting. Coming thick and fast for the Mariners this afternoon. Lawrence Taylor was the first one to go into the book. Then Mewitt drew his first card of the season, a straight red. Joel Wade and now Jai Rose also into the book for the hosts. Andrew Montgomery will look to go to his bench again as they chase the game here at Pluim Park. Yuto Morita will take his leave for the afternoon. Mid-season signing, acquitted himself well on debut. Garang Awak introduced for the final 17 or so minutes here at Pluim. Helu hoists it forwards. He was the point man, really, the furthest forwards. Straight to Dylan Miskey. Pele. Swung in by Garang Awak. Straight into the side netting though. Another break in play offers an opportunity for another change. Jai Rose it will be to take his leave. After another sparkling performance from the Mariners number 11. Another goal, another assist. Ty McKibben on in his stead. between the two 17s there, and Static Floodie's come off the worst for wear. No doubt about it. He's back to his feet quickly, understands the urgency of the assignment that sits ahead of them here for Mount Druitt. Hoisted back in by Miller. Flicked on by Hello. Druitt able to play their way out and play their way through the Mariners' lines initially anyway. Great piece of footwork there from McKibben. Now, Max Miller. Mantell. Back to Mutakoye. It's an awkward one to control, but he's able to do so. McKibben. Left a little bit short of Jablonski, and Rocco Pele comes flying in. Hello. Now Reed. Sliding challenge affected by Massarola. Belcardi now. Outside of the foot pass to Static Floodie, and again sliding in. To great effect is Jesse Mantell. Every touch, every tackle being cheered by the Mariners faithful, and still going here is Mantell. Good bit of strength. Referee just waited to see if the advantage would accrue. It looked like it might have been accruing, but pulled back for the free kick in the end. Mariners won't necessarily mind, though. It does give them an opportunity to soak up a few more seconds. Mind you, they're not necessarily going to flood the box with players. As Angus Reid floats it into the area. Niski comes a long way to claim and does so with aplomb. Rolls it to the feet of Belcardi. Majok. Right, it goes for Awak. Majok, who continued his underlapping run. Passing lanes blocked off though. Mount Druitt able to get us back underway by a throw. Danilo carries it forward over halfway. Still going here as well. Now Static Floodie. This time has the beating of Mantell. Gets the cross in, and Joel Wade, eagle-eyed and alert, watching it all the way. Quickly off his line to snuff out the chance. Sends it long as well, giving Mantell something to chase here. Danilo, you'd fancy his favourite to reach it, is indeed. He's had to keep it in play though. The whistle will go. A tug on the jersey there from Jesse Mantell. We'll continue with those updates from elsewhere across the league, as well as we said at Sydney United Sports Centre. It is as it was at the interval. Yu Okubo, the difference there. Spirit FC leading by a 1-0. And a very interesting one here. This is sent long, straight into the hands of Joel Wade. Very interesting game in progress down at Rockdale. Rockdale find themselves behind again by 2-1 against Sutherland. As in live action here, Haragali clips one forwards, giving Miller something to chase, and Miller will win the throw, and the Mariners will go to their bench for the final time this afternoon. By process of elimination, I would have to say that would be Flynn Richards coming on. It is indeed. For his second appearance off the bench in the NPL men's first grade setup. Came off the bench last week and won his side a penalty. Not only that, but managed to take a player with him in the process. With the Sydney United goalkeeper being sent off. Flynn Richards looking to get straight in on the action here. Pressing Belcardi. Now chasing after Rocco Pele. Pele able to free his feet enough to play the pass forward to Awak. Behind it goes though for another Mount Druitt corner.
1 minute.
Belcardi, Majok, Motakoi initially heading it clear. Hooked over the shoulder by Schumacher. Belcardi. Locked off again. Ahmed El Helu, who's taken his leave for the afternoon. Opened the scoring early in the first half. Jotting in the flighted free kick from Jai Rose. Here's Awak. Jablonski. Absolutely touch tight to him, and Jablonski celebrating that tackle as if it were a goal. He's won the goal kick as well.
He wasn't very happy.
Into the final 9 or so minutes here at Pluim Park. Joel Wade sending all the short options forwards, as you might expect. Flynn Richards, well, perhaps a bit of a physical mismatch, an aerial mismatch between he and Tep Tep. Make no mistake about it though, Flynn Richards will still prove a nuisance of himself. Angus Reid, who's won the free kick though, just in front of halfway. Drawing the contact, 2 hands in the back. Reid will get us back underway. Goes into the half space intended for Richards, who'd made a darting run, but it was a long way ahead of Flynn Richards. Masarola. Crossing the wall again, looking for Pele. Now Awak works his way into the area. Pele, first time cross towards Majok. Not a clear again. Mantel will finalise the clearance, but the Mariners pinned back into their own half at the moment. Masarola.
Right before the grand final, I said,
Taken off the toe of Kamora, back to Belcardi.
I said you've got more bravery.
Danilo. Tep. Danilo striding forwards. Stretching the pitch here with Stanek Floody. Belcardi. Forced to go back and reload through Danilo, who will carry it forwards. Masarola now clipped into the area towards Awak, chested down to Belcardi! Very good save against Joel Wade. Belcardi with the snapshot, looking to score against his former employers. And from point blank range, Joel Wade keeps his sheets clean, but it's going to come straight back at them. Or is it? Flynn Richards, oh, that's fairly cynical. Ball is in the back of the net again, and Druitt now have a player in the books themselves. The referee's notebook, I should say. Very late sort of challenge on Flynn Richards there. The ball was long gone. Jared Masarola it is, drawing the ire of referee Jackson Mackey. Kamura, now Majok. It's Kamura. Again looking to go from side to side and try and push and probe and stretch the Mariners out of shape here. Ty McKibben has given away the free kick on the far touchline. Mariners don't necessarily agree with it. Now George just want to get on with it. Masarola, again, clip delivery towards Stanek Floody, who, well...
It's easy to pick up and take it out.
opted to go for goal himself there, Stanek Floody. Perhaps was in two minds about it. Could have certainly been wise of counsel to try and pull it back across the face. Mariners will be, again, happy to see time further ticking away.
He did that the other day.
5 minutes for the Mariners, which will feel like an absolute eternity.
What do you mean?
Forced down to 10 men for the majority of the second half. Backs to the wall, all hands on deck at all times. Druitt throw absolutely everything they have at this one.
What do you mean that?
Danilo, perhaps tired legs. Legs just about giving way there as well. Belcardi, certainly the fresher set of legs there. On at half time. Now it's tap-tap. Garang Awak. Ty McKibben will retrieve and go around Garang Awak. His ball forward, only finding touch though. Returning it to Mount Druitt. It's wave after wave of attack here for the Rangers. Stanek Floody into the area towards Awak. Gibbs, Majok, blocked off again by McKibben. Belcardi. Lazy looking swing of the right boot there from Bilal Belcardi. And the Mariners happy once again to watch that behind. Garang Awak again playing ball boy. And Joel Wade again sending everyone forwards. Launching this one into the evening sky. Rising was Stanek Floody. Max Miller hoisting it back into play. Richards sliding challenge as well to find Mantell. Evades the attention of Massarola. It's pulled into the area. Repelled and Majok. Rising was Miller. It's all a bit chaotic, a bit scrappy again out there. It's a bit frenetic, as you may expect. Joey Gibbs. Wide is Yuta Kimura. And again, a very good piece of defending. The combination there of Miller and Paragali. Very impressed with the performance of young Max Miller in his step up from the under 20 set up today.
I could get behind it.
As we said, his first appearance in the first grade setup. So just about seamlessly. Job's not done yet though. As Angus Reid takes away the legs of Yuta Kimura. Schumacher, his clearance is blocked and Stanek Floody sliding in there, desperately trying to get anything on it. Again, it's Max Miller there first. Some more defending to do there. Well, no, there's not. The offside flag is up, much to the dismay of Abraham Majok. He doesn't necessarily agree with it, but he doesn't have to. Joey Gibbs able to pull it down and link up with Rocco Pele. Inverting now, Massarola. Majok, who's drifted wide to the far touchline. Jablonski will send it into touch. this a match with potentially huge implications at the foot of the table. Still a lot of football to be played throughout the course of the season. And we are through the regulation 90 minutes here at Plume. We're going to see 4 minutes of time added on as Mantell is pulled to the deck there by Bilal Belkadi. The Mariners perhaps asking for more than just a free kick. Four minutes for the Mariners to try and hang on. They've got a free kick in a fairly intriguing sort of position here as well. Mantell to take. It's only got Richards and Schumacher to aim for. It is Schumacher who rises. Dylan Niski racing after that one to prevent the corner. And then send it forwards. Launched high into the evening sky. Motokoyi nodding it forward, and then looked like he may have copped something on the way through there as well. He stayed down. Now Druitt will be forced to stop play. Jackson Mackey. Motokoyi went down, clutching his head or his face there. Just trying to see if we can get a look at the replay on the monitor here. Didn't look like anything necessarily untoward. But of course, well-being of all the players is absolutely paramount. And if there's any sign or any chance of a potential head injury, their well-being must absolutely come first and foremost. Well, in fact, we're going to have a free kick at the end of it all, not a drop ball for the restart. So referee Jackson Mackey may have spotted a loose arm or something to that effect in the sequence of play. Joel Wade will send it forwards. Schumacher to touch on that far touch line. Another Mariners throw. Another chance to tick down the clock. If secured, victory would lift them off the foot of the table. Their opponents here in Mount Druitt would take their place. Leave them just a point behind complete safety as well in the Wanderers. Still a couple of minutes left in this one though.
Oh, someone should put down Spotify.
Still that Mariners throw on the far touchline, which they've been in absolutely no hurry to take. Richards now to the byline, just running out of real estate. The Mariners will be quick to scramble back and get their shape, get their structure back. Tep now carrying it forwards. Has time, run out for the Town Rangers. Yuta Kimura. Spray one out to the opposite flank. Belkadi clipped into the area. Gibbs blocked off again. Great piece of defending that from Shumba Motokoyi. That is excellent defending from Motokoyi. Driven forward again by Tep. Wade will rise to claim. We're through just about that 4 minutes of time added on. We may see another minute or so. It was about this point in time last season where the Mariners began their revival, their renaissance of sorts that's ensured their status and their safety in the top flight. Could we see history repeating? They've got some more defending to do though, as Mudjock is offside. He's making his feelings, well, clearly and plainly known to the referee. Motokoyi, it is, who's down again on the edge of the 6-yard box. Joel Wade will be to send this one forward once more. If we have enough time, we do indeed. giving Richards something to chase. Richards will pick it up as well. Wriggle his way into the area initially. Tep will get there first and trust his goalkeeper's feet. Danilo who'd stayed down, and that is that here at Pluim Park. 2 wins on the spin for the Central Coast Mariners, and this one perhaps even more crucial than the last. Every match very much a grand final for both of these sides in the final third of the season, and it is the Mariners who emerge victorious today and hoist themselves off the foot of the table as they look to chart a course to safety, to survival in the state's top flight. It was Ahmed El Helou who opened the scoring, just 8 minutes on the clock. Again, the assist provided, as it was last week, by Jai Rose. Jai Rose then went bang in the second half with an absolute tracer bullet into the top corner. The Mariners were reduced to 10 men for the final 35 or so minutes. Ben Mewett shown a straight red card, and it was backs to the wall. It was all hands on deck. And the Mariners got the job done, securing 3 points against Mount Druitt here today. Mariners will return to their home venue here at Pluim Park once again next week as they play Sutherland on Sunday at 3 p.m. Another chance to perhaps claw their way further up the table. For Mount Druitt, they will continue their travels on the road against St George City on Saturday evening. But that's it from us here at Pluim Park. Absolute pleasure having your company, as it always is. From myself, Pete Pryor, I'll see you all next time. It's bye for now.